While Jesus was still talking to the crowd, his mother and brother stood outside, wanting to speak to him. Someone told him, "Your mother and brothers are standing outside, wanting to speak to you." He replied to him, "Who is my mother and who are my brothers?" Pointing to his disciples, he said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother." Greeting, guys. It is me here with a message of the kingdom of heaven. Guys, we are still in that love mood. You know, you'll be wondering why I'm quoting such scriptures if I'm speaking about love. Guys, it's love. It's love, guys, you know. In fact, this time around, it's us proving to Jesus that we love him too. Guys, that dude did something that no one can ever do for me. And for me, proving to him, for me, guys, sacrificing things. Guys, I've sacrificed a lot. Believe me when I tell you, I've sacrificed. Guys, I look at myself and I'm like, Nini, you are a fool. I've sacrificed a lot, guys, a lot, like you won't believe. But when I delve in deep to what Jesus did, I look at my Lord and I'm like, my Lord, I haven't sacrificed at all. It doesn't look like anything, because the things he did for me are the things that I sit and I'm like, my King, I'm forever indebted to you, because you did something that no one could have done. You know, guys, if Jesus did something that someone else could have done for me, I mean, the appreciation wouldn't be overwhelming. But the appreciation, guys, is overwhelming, because every time I think about what he's done, I look at the things that I've done. You know, I look at my sacrifices and I'm like, damn, my Lord, I just cannot outdo you. I can't beat you. I can't beat him. You know, no one who came from Adam would have been able to give me the blood. Guys, because without the shedding of blood, no forgiveness of sins. And the only person through whom Adam came was the only person who could save me. And if it wasn't Jesus, the only person who could have done that, it's Daddy. You understand? So I look at Jesus and I say, my Lord, you're the only one who could have done that. And you did it. You didn't sit and say, you know what, beg me. Beg me. No. You did it without me asking for it. Guys, we didn't boycott and ask Jesus for the blood, but he gave it to us. He understood what we didn't. You understand? And then he gave me the commands. Because even though he gives me the blood, if there are no commands, I will sin again and die again and do what Adam did and die again. You understand? So he gave me the commands so that I will continue obeying him, thus remaining spiritually alive. I sit and every day, my guys, you know, I sit and I'm like, my King, no one can ever do the things you've done for me. That's why the appreciation is too much. You know, he is set apart in my heart, you know. Nevertheless, guys, we are still speaking about that love mood, because this is a time where we have to prove the love we have for him. He's already proven the love for us. Daddy has already proven his love for us. So now it's time we prove that love to him. Guys, we prove it. You know, my flesh is giving me problems, you know, wanting to do the things that everyone is doing, but I sit and I'm like, my King, I ain't gonna insult that blood. Guys, I'm not gonna insult that blood. I look at that man and I say, my King, I'm not going to insult that blood. You know, I look at pastors preaching riches, earthly blessings, prosperity, and forever forgiveness, and I sit and I'm like, they are actually undoing the work that Jesus came to do here on earth. You know, guys, when you preach what Jesus did not preach, no matter how difficult it is, stick to it, because you are undoing the work that he came to do. And we did not get that blood very easy. We did not get it nice, guys. That day still haunts me to this day. And I'm pretty sure my Lord is like, Nini, move on. I can't move on. I can't move on from that Gethsemane day, because I sit and I look at that day and I'm like, my King, that day was so powerful that I think about it. Guys, we are told that he wept bitterly, and he says, my soul is sorrowful to the point of shedding blood. So I look at that day and I'm like, my King, I'm not going to insult your deed. I'm not going to insult that action. That action was too powerful. One powerful moment in history, yet one saddest moment in history. So I look at that day and I'm like, my King, as much as it is difficult to obey you, because see guys, to obey Jesus, you must suffer, because you need to feel the pain. Your flesh wants sex outside marriage. You have to fight against that, meaning you have to fight. You understand? You are going to have to feel that pain of not doing this thing that your flesh wants, because you are not going to insult that blood. You know, guys, my flesh loves money. I also want to be called a blessed story, that success story. But Jesus came down here and taught us that if you're going to walk like that, you're not going to make it to my kingdom. Yet he gave that blood. So painful like that, you understand? So I must feel the pain when I obey him, and I sit and I'm like, my King, I'm feeling this pain. I'm a nobody. I'm a non-entity. But I'm not going to insult that blood. I'm not going to undo what you came to do here on earth. Guys, you understand? My flesh, guys, wants to run after the things of the world and be called this blessed story, this success story, so that when I pass, people will say, did you see that? Did you see the blessings of God? Guys, he says my blessings are reserved in heaven. Guys, he says, no eye has seen, no ear heard, no mind has conceived the things that he has kept for us. They are reserved in heaven, guys, not here on earth. Here, guys, the people of the earth are running after the things of the world. They are running after money. They are running after sex outside marriage. They are doing exactly what they should be doing. Why? It's theirs. It's theirs, guys. Nothing less, nothing more. They are doing exactly what I expect them to do. But for me, guys, I need to feel this pain, because my flesh, guys, is still dead. While Jesus has done something about my spirit, my flesh is still dead. I have to take his commands and obey. And obeying those commands, guys, is difficult. It's against my flesh. So I'm feeling the pain, but I sit and I'm like, my King, I'm not going to insult your blood. As difficult as it is, I'm not going to insult that blood. So guys, we're speaking about love. Do not mind the scriptures I'm quoting from. I'm actually quoting these scriptures because we are going to have to prove our love to him. We are going to have to say, Jesus, we appreciate what you've done. You understand? Nevertheless, guys, here, I'm finishing, guys. I'm going to be short. Here, Jesus was actually preaching, to the hypocrite of his time in the synagogue. Guys, synagogues are always filled with hypocrites. Just like these days, churches are filled with hypocrites. So those days, same thing. So Jesus was busy preaching to those hypocrites, and a child comes and he says, listen, your mother and your brothers are seeking, to speak to you. And Jesus, looking towards his disciples, pointing to them, he says, this is my brothers. These are my brothers. This is my mother. Because anyone who does the will of the Father is my mother, is my brother, is my sister. You understand? And you will think that Jesus was rude to Mary. Jesus, guys, wasn't rude at all. When you go to the Gospel of John chapter 2, the wine had gone out, and Mary goes to Jesus and asks Jesus to perform a miracle. And Jesus asks, what do you have to do with this woman? And you think this is rude. Jesus, guys, you see, there's something you need to understand. Jesus, guys, is a God. That guy is older than the world. So Jesus will speak like that to Mary because he wanted to instill to Mary that listen, I might have been put in your womb. I was already old there, living in heaven, and I was put in your womb, and I became a child here on earth, because to enter earth, you must actually be born legally. Guys, It's not like Satan who just decide to indwell people's bodies and possess people. That is an illegal way of entering the earth. Jesus, guys, could have jumped from heaven to earth, but he decided to enter the earth in a legal way. That's why he says that he is a good shepherd, because the Father opened the gate for him and he entered the legal way. You understand? So Jesus had to be put in a womb, but the guy was already old. The guy, guys, is older than the world. Guys, imagine someone who's older in the world. So Jesus speaks like that to Mary because he wanted to remind Mary that, listen, you are not getting it, lady. You are not getting it. I was put in your womb because you obeyed daddy, but I was already old in heaven. You understand? And I'm still old. I might look 30 something, but I'm old. Way older than you. You understand? So you don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. You understand? Guys, Mary, I love that lady. Because for her to give birth outside of marriage, those days giving birth outside of marriage was a taboo because sin was sin. Nowadays it's a blessing. Nowadays, guys, sin is a blessing. This generation knows nothing about what sin is because its pastors are busy preaching riches, earthly blessings, and prosperity and monies and forever forgiveness. So they don't know what sin is. So those days sin was known. So Mary had to give birth outside of marriage. She was already pregnant. Daddy had already put Jesus in her womb. You understand? So she was considered a taboo. You understand? So I love that lady. You understand? But Jesus is actually saying, listen. You are not going to tell me what to do. I will tell you what to do. You understand? So here, guys, it's the same thing. They are coming, asking for Jesus. Jesus says, those who belong to my family are those who do the will of God. No one else. Nobody else. Those who do the will of my Father. You understand? So guys, I'm speaking like this because we are born with family members who don't obey daddy, who go to church, who don't obey him, who live according to anyhow they want to, understand, who want to serve daddy in their own way. Guys, we are born with actually elders who place tradition over the word of God, you understand? And they expect us to do that. And Jesus makes us understand that, listen, there are two families. There is a heavenly family and there is a earth family. And the earth family is not the family of Jesus. So we have to consider that every time. And that's the hard part, guys. That's the hard part because now you have to think about your Father. Now you have to think about your Lord, you understand, against your physical family who don't even want to enter that kingdom, who don't know that to access daddy, to access Jesus, you must be in a covenant. They think that you just born and you access God. No, it doesn't work like that. You must be in a covenant. That's why Jesus brought the blood for the covenant. You understand? So we are born with families who don't obey him, and you have to consider the fact that you now have two families. One, the heavenly family, and the other, the earthly family. And the earthly family is the least because that one is the priority. You prioritize that family. So you're living with family members, guys, during this time, the Christmas time, where everyone is around people. So they want you to obey them. They want you to respect them. And then you sit and you're like, I've got a family as well. I've got that heavenly family, the permanent family. I'm not talking about this temporal family. I'm talking about a permanent family because I have to obey that family, because after I leave here, I have to go to that family. I don't know, guys, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So we are going to have to prove our love to them as well. They loved us. They showed us love. So we need to prove that love to them as well. You understand? So while you are with them, you need to stay away from those who don't obey him. Why? Because when you choose the world, you are forfeiting your soul. You are losing Jesus. You are losing daddy, because friendship with the world is enmity towards God. That's what I'm talking about here, guys, because we've got two families, the heavenly family and the earthly family. Now you have to prove to them that you love them more than this earth family, because Jesus did not come to bring peace here on earth. He came to bring, guys, he came to bring a sword. The members of your own family will be your enemies, you understand? And that when happen, guys, when that happens, you are going to allow Jesus to let that happen, you understand? Because you are going to have to do things for Jesus. You are going to be choosing Jesus, and they will feel as if you don't love them, you love them, but you love Jesus more. And you're going to have to prove to Jesus that you love him. You are choosing Jesus. Guys, it's difficult, but you're going to have to do it. So I'm telling you that now it's time for you to prove that you love them more than you love your earthly family. Until next, guys.